What's going on, guys? Welcome to your second stimulus check update, stimulus package update, and stimulus news report for Friday, October 16th. We are 19 days away from the upcoming election, and today we have some very interesting news regarding stimulus that comes directly from President Trump himself. We also have some interesting news out from the White House regarding Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. And lastly, we have more Democrats that are beginning to come out publicly and pressure Nancy Pelosi to accept a $1.8 trillion stimulus proposal that the Trump administration offered. First, let's address what President Trump said yesterday regarding any stimulus deal. But before I get into that, if you are enjoying these daily stimulus updates, can you do me a favor and hit that like button? Also, feel free to share this video with your friends and family over on Facebook so they too can stay updated as well. So now, let's address what President Trump said regarding stimulus. He said that he wants to go higher. We need to go higher, go big, or go home. His exact quote was, "I would. Absolutely, I would. I would say more. I would go higher. Go big or go home. I said it yesterday." That's exactly what he said last night. Even Senator Lindsey Graham said that he supports President Trump and more stimulus would be better. President Trump said, "Why not go higher? It was not the people's fault. It was China's fault, and they will ultimately pay for this." Well, he went on to say, and this is an exact quote, "We're going to take it from China. I tell you now, it's coming out of China. They're the ones that caused this problem." Now, when asked how he would get this money, President Trump responded, "There's a lot of ways, and I'll figure every one of them out. I already have them figured out." Now, I bring this to your attention because this is huge news. I bring this to your attention because if President Trump and the Trump administration believe that, and they have a plan that China is the one that, they are at fault, they are the ones that will cover this, they are the ones that have to pay for this. If that is what they are going to do, then why would Republicans continue to say that the debt is the issue? If China is going to be the ones that pay for this, why wouldn't we just accept more? If China will pay for this, my thinking is, why wouldn't we just accept the $2.2 trillion offer that Nancy Pelosi and Democrats have proposed, Heroes 2.0? Now, obviously, there's some issues with the language and where the money's spent, but if we can deal with that and negotiate that part, why couldn't we go up to $2.2 trillion? Again, if China is truly the one to blame and they will pay for this, again, that's what President Trump is saying, that he will get the money from China. If that's the case, why are Americans only getting $1,200? Why wouldn't we get $2,000, $2,500, maybe $2,000 per month retroactive for the past, 5 to 6 months? That would be great. That would help out the American people. Well, why can't they do that? Now, let's dive into the news surrounding the White House and Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. First, I want to address that Mitch McConnell was simply asked yesterday, why would he not accept the $3.4 trillion stimulus package, the HEROES Act, that Nancy Pelosi and Democrats put in front of him? Why did he not accept this back in May? Why did he wait over 5 months and now he's trying to put together a skinny bill? Why didn't he just accept this? Why did the Senate pretty much push that bill under the rug and go on recess and just wait? Why did he do that? Well, he didn't really answer the question. He just chuckled and laughed, which made a lot of people very upset. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention because you'll probably hear about that a lot today. Now, other than that, many people, including Nancy Pelosi, are wondering if stimulus negotiations, if they do come together at some point between her and Steve Mnuchin, will Mitch McConnell actually stand in the way? Well, that was the question that Nancy Pelosi asked yesterday to Steve Mnuchin, and he said that President Trump would ultimately lobby Mitch McConnell on any large stimulus package. Nancy Pelosi and Steve Mnuchin continue to have hour-long phone conversations almost daily and sometimes more than once per day. And she doesn't want to waste her time, either does Steve Mnuchin. But she does not want to waste her time if a deal does get reached in any way and the Senate again steps in the way and will not pass a bill. She doesn't want to do that. Well, Nancy Pelosi's spokesman, Drew Hamill, he tweeted this last night saying, quote, "The Speaker also raised Leader McConnell's comments today about not being willing to put a comprehensive package on the Senate floor. The Secretary indicated that the President would weigh in with Leader McConnell should an agreement be reached." So, right now, hopefully, Steve Mnuchin put any issues with Mitch McConnell to rest so that him and Nancy Pelosi can hammer out the rest of the details and hopefully come up with a number and a verbal agreement on the next stimulus package. That's what everyone's waiting for. Just yesterday, Steve Mnuchin said that the Republicans will go up $30 billion for testing, tracing, and treatment. They will also include an additional $28 billion for vaccine development. And in the conversation that took him about an hour and 20 minutes yesterday afternoon, he told Nancy Pelosi that as long as they work out just some minor details, some minor edits to the language and the way the testing, tracing, and treatment is going to be done, that Republicans do not need any other changes. Just a few minor changes, and then they will go with the language that Democrats and Nancy Pelosi have put forth. So, again, now that we're talking about Nancy Pelosi, let's address how House Democrats and their constant pressure on Nancy Pelosi is going. Because more and more House Democrats are publicly stating that they want Nancy Pelosi to accept the $1.8 trillion stimulus package. But if you remember, the package has already gone up. President Trump told Steve Mnuchin, offer 1.8. He did. And just days after he's done that, the offer is continuing to go up. So, things are looking good for stimulus negotiations. Earlier this week, we heard from Representative Ro Khanna, and he stated publicly multiple times on Twitter that he thought the $1.8 trillion stimulus package that the Trump administration proposed was significant, and Nancy Pelosi should accept this for the people. Yesterday, we heard from Representative Abigail Spanberger from Virginia. She told Yahoo Finance that $1.8 trillion would provide meaningful help to people. She also went on to state, "I have been hearing from people everywhere I go about the challenges they're facing, paying their rent, paying their mortgage, small business owners who are teetering on the edge of losing everything and they've worked for while other small businesses already have. The need for relief is immense and it is immediate." She later would go on to say, "There must be additional areas of relief that need to be addressed later. There may be additional areas of relief that need to be addressed later, but the proposal that's been put forth is pretty large. Talking about a dollar amount versus the programs comprised in this proposal, I think, is off topic. And the topic is, if this were to pass tomorrow and be signed into law tomorrow, would we deliver relief to the American people who need it? And the answer is yes." That was her quote. That is a very powerful quote. My take on this is that she hit the topic right on the head. The talk should be about the policies and not the overall numbers. Nancy Pelosi has been stuck on the numbers. Steve Mnuchin, stuck on the numbers. Mitch McConnell, Senate Republicans, stuck on the numbers. The numbers do matter, but in the grand scheme of things, it's the way the money is spent, where it goes, and what kind of policies they put together. That's where the priorities should lie. The talks should not revolve around cutting a child tax credit or anything like that, because that has nothing to do with COVID. And it definitely shouldn't be about giving states a blank check to do whatever they want with the funding, because again, that doesn't always go back to a COVID issue. Pay for past pensions does not address COVID. Paying for losses due to COVID for the states and local governments, that is a COVID expense. So why is Nancy Pelosi and Steve Mnuchin fighting over an unrelated COVID expense? It shouldn't happen. Now, many House Democrats are unhappy with Nancy Pelosi and the way she has handled the stimulus negotiations, but they do not have the power and are not willing to stand up to Nancy Pelosi for the sake of the American people. We vote these people into their positions, into their seats, and the problem is they don't stand up for us. That's going to become an issue if it hasn't already. If no stimulus comes out of these stimulus negotiations before the end of the year, not before Election Day, before the end of the year. So we still have like 2.5 months. If no stimulus comes out of this, I expect and I anticipate the fight to turn towards Nancy Pelosi more than anywhere else. So we will see what happens there. Now, in travel news, yesterday was the first day that Hawaii offered their pre-testing program, which allowed incoming travelers to forego the 14-day quarantine period. This is huge. This was big. Yesterday, it was estimated that roughly 30 incoming flights came into Hawaii, carrying upwards of 8,000 people. The pre-pandemic levels for Hawaii was roughly 30,000 people per day. So getting about a third is going to help out the economy immensely. This new program has many people saying that this could be the new future of safe travel. Now, the way this pre-flight testing works is you go to a local partner store, such as a CVS, Walmart, Walgreens, or Kaiser Permanente, and you get the required test done there. This has to be done within 72 hours of the flight. If you do that, then this pre-testing program will work for you. You fly into Hawaii, you fill out the paperwork online, you do everything online, so that once you fly in, you just let them know, yes, I did the testing, I'm negative, I'm not a COVID carrier, and you're on your way, you're enjoying the beach. That's great. You do not have to quarantine for 14 days, which a lot of people were very upset about. Going into Hawaii thinking, oh yes, I got a week-long vacation, and you're hit with a 14-day quarantine. That's not too good. Now, this pre-testing program comes at a very crucial time because Hawaii remains at the top of the unemployment figure with over 17% of people currently unemployed. We saw yesterday that there was a spike in increase in unemployment cases, new unemployment cases. We rose to almost 900,000 new cases just last week alone. So this comes at a good time. Hawaii is opening up, and this will be great. Also, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said that Canada will continue to keep borders closed until the United States can gain control over COVID-19. And here in the United States, we continue to show a slow uptrend in cases, but this was as to be expected and based on predictions from multiple health experts. So all I can tell you right now is that you need to continue to stay safe, remain healthy, and make sure you subscribe so I can keep you updated on all things stimulus. And I'll see you guys on the next one.